Let me ask you something. When was the last time you tried a beer that genuinely surprised you? Not a beer you had heard about 1,000 times. Not the IPA that every craft beer account on social media is posting about. A beer that nobody told you to try, that you just discovered, and it absolutely blew your mind. Those beers still exist, and most people walk right past them every single day. Today we are shining a spotlight on 5 beers that the beer world is sleeping on in 2026. 5 beers that professional brewers, beer writers, and industry experts have called criminally underrated, but that have never gone viral, never trended on social media, and never got the recognition they deserve. These are not obscure home brews you can only find in one tiny taproom. Every single beer on this list is available across the United States right now. They are just waiting for you to discover them. I have researched expert opinion from VinePair, Uproxx, Pace Magazine, and leading beer professionals across the country to build this list. These are not my personal picks. These are the picks of the people who know beer better than almost anyone on the planet. Let us give these beers the moment they deserve. Number 5, Hitachino Ness White Ale, a Japanese brewery making Belgian-style wheat beer that American craft brewers call the most underrated import in the country. Let that sink in. Hitachino Ness White Ale is brewed by Kiyoshi Brewery in Ibaraki, Japan, a family that has been making sake since 1823. In 1996, they turned their 170 years of brewing expertise toward craft beer, and the result is one of the most elegant, beautifully crafted wheat beers available in the United States today. It is a Witbier, a Belgian wheat beer style, brewed with orange peel, coriander, nutmeg, and fresh orange juice. The result is a hazy golden pour with a soft white head, an aroma of fresh citrus and warm spice, and a taste that is simultaneously delicate, complex, and utterly refreshing. It is subtle without being boring, complex without being challenging, and it pairs with food in a way that almost no other beer does. If you have never tried Hitachino Ness White Ale, that changes today. Number 4, Great Lakes Eliot Ness Amber Lager. Named after the FBI agent who helped take down Al Capone, brewed in Cleveland for over 30 years. And almost nobody outside Ohio has ever heard of it. Great Lakes Brewing Company is one of the true craft beer pioneers of America. Founded in Cleveland, Ohio in 1988, they were one of the very first craft breweries in the entire country. And their Eliot Ness Amber Lager is the beer that brewing manager Joe Stradiff at Half Acre Brewing in Chicago called one of the most criminally underrated beers in America. Here is why Eliot Ness is so remarkable. Vienna lager is a style that almost no American brewery attempts correctly. It is a Central European lager style that requires patience, precision, and a deep understanding of malt character. Great Lakes has been nailing it for over 3 decades. The result is a beer with a beautiful deep amber pour, an aroma of rich toasted malt with a hint of caramel, and a taste that delivers genuine malt complexity, a subtle sweetness, and a clean lager finish that is almost impossibly smooth for a beer at 6.2% alcohol. It looks expensive. It drinks expensive. It is not expensive. Find it at Total Wine and specialty stores across the Midwest and Eastern USA. Number 3, Cigar City Maduro Brown Ale. Brown ales have almost completely disappeared from American tap lists. That is one of the greatest tragedies in the history of craft beer, and Cigar City Maduro proves exactly why. Cigar City Brewing in Tampa, Florida is one of the most celebrated craft breweries in the American South. They are perhaps best known for Jai-Alai IPA, one of the best-selling craft IPAs in the country. But the beer that actual brewing professionals consistently call their hidden masterpiece is a Maduro Brown Ale. And almost nobody orders it. American brown ales were once a staple of every craft brewery in the country. In the 1990s and early 2000s, the brown ale was the gateway drink for an entire generation of craft beer lovers. Then the IPA explosion happened and brown ales essentially vanished from tap lists almost overnight. That is a tragedy, because a well-made brown ale is one of the most satisfying, food-friendly, and technically complex beers a brewery can produce. Maduro is the standard bearer for the style. It pours a deep mahogany brown with a tan head. The aroma is rich with chocolate, coffee, light toffee, and roasted malt. The taste delivers on every one of those promises, silky smooth, full-bodied, with dark chocolate, subtle coffee, a hint of caramel sweetness, and a beautifully balanced finish. It is the beer equivalent of a perfectly made espresso. Available at Total Wine, Whole Foods, and liquor stores across Florida and the Southeast, with nationwide shipping available. Number 2, the Saison style. The head brewer at Dogfish Head called the Saison the most underrated beer style in all of American craft brewing. He brews for one of the most innovative breweries in the country. He would know. Before we talk about specific beers, we need to talk about the style, because most Americans have never tried a Saison and have very little idea what one actually is. And that is exactly the problem. A Saison, pronounced Hitachino, is a Belgian farmhouse ale with ancient roots. Originally brewed by Belgian farmers in the winter to sustain their workers through the summer harvest season, Saisons are complex, highly carbonated, dry, spicy ales. They're unlike anything else in the beer world. They are brewed with wild yeast strains that create a completely unique flavor profile, fruity, spicy, earthy, peppery, and beautifully refreshing all at once. The reason Saisons are so underrated is precisely what makes them so extraordinary. They are subtle. They are complex. They reward attention. In a beer market built on bold flavors and visual drama, the quiet brilliance of a great Saison gets completely lost. If you have never tried Saison, go to the nearest good beer store. Find one of those bottles, take it home, pour it into a proper glass, and pay attention. You will taste something you have never tasted before in a beer, and you will understand immediately why the professionals are so passionate about this style. Number 1. Capital Brewery, Wisconsin. This brewery has been making world-class German lagers in Wisconsin for over 30 years. Almost nobody outside the Midwest has ever heard of them. That is the single greatest injustice in American craft beer today. Capital Brewery in Middleton, Wisconsin was founded in 1986 and has spent nearly 4 decades perfecting the most technically demanding styles in the history of brewing German lagers. We're talking about Kolsch, Maibach, Vienna Lager, Doppelbock, Oktoberfest Lager, and traditional wheat beers, all brewed with precision and authenticity that rivals the best breweries in Munich and Cologne. And almost nobody knows they exist. Here is the cruel irony at the heart of the American craft beer industry. The styles that require the most skill, the most patience, and the most technical knowledge to brew German lagers are also the styles that generate the least social media attention, the fewest reviews on beer apps, and the smallest cultural footprint. A flashy triple IPA with mango and passion fruit gets 10,000 check-ins on Untappd. A perfectly executed Munich Helles gets barely 100. Find them at stores across Wisconsin and the Midwest, or order online for shipping nationwide.